served in the Army as a member of the military police. His son Andy is an Eagle Scout with this troop, and he lives down at University Place. Please welcome Lieutenant Khan.
Good morning, everybody. Glad that so many of you could come out on such a great day, such a beautiful day. Yes, our son is an Eagle Scout with Troop 112. I can't forget my daughter, who is a Silver Venture Scout with the Cradle of Liberty Council as well. So I was very reluctant to speak, and as Mr. Federico and myself took over the organizing and planning of this event, we found that a lot of veterans are very reluctant to speak. Most of us, and myself included, really saw no action. We had no excitement, no battlefield courage or anything like that. So it's hard to come up here and represent those who gave up their lives so that we can all live in freedom and peace. But in looking back over my short time in the military, I do have one story that I like to share sometimes. So it was back in the mid-'80s when I was down in Fort McClellan, Alabama. I was in the company office, and the first sergeant came in one day, and he looked at us in there, and he said, "You guys have got it made." And we thought, what the heck is he talking about? We've got it made. So we asked him, and he said, "Well, when you go out those gates, you go out in town, you get on a plane, on a bus, on a train, you go into a restaurant, how do people react?" We were kind of dumbfounded. We said, "Well, people ignore us. It's like we're not even there." And he said, "How great is that? When I was a private in the 70s, you go out off post, people would yell at you, throw things at you, call you names. They treated them like dirt." And we thought about it for a little bit, but it was hard for us to make a connection there. And then years go by. I was out of the military in the Gulf War and the Operation Desert Shield, the Desert Storm. And really the perception and the appreciation by the public of the service that the young men and women in the service performed for all of us really kind of changed. And for the better. So airlines give priority boarding now to servicemen and women. Some businesses give discounts. You know, random strangers walk up to service personnel in the airport, shake their hand, buy them a drink, thank them for their service. It's great. Every 4 years or so, the Boy Scouts hold a national jamboree. Big event, 30 to 40,000 scouts from around the country gather in one spot for 10 days of camping and activities and fun. And in 2010, our son, went down to Fort A.P. Hill in Virginia for the Boy Scout Jamboree, and I got a day to go down and visit. It was great. At the end of the day, I was walking to my car, and in the parking lot, I saw an MP standing there. Well, I was an MP. He's an MP. I went over, I shook his hand, thanked him for his service, and then I said, "You guys have got it made." People buy you drinks and shake your hand. When I was a private, people ignored us, right? So it's great that the attitude and the perception and the appreciation has really changed over the years, and that we can show these young men and women how much they mean to us. So today is a special day to really remember and honor and commemorate those who paid the ultimate price, who gave their lives in defense of our freedoms and liberty. But every day of the year is a day to be thankful for all those who are currently serving, all those who put on a uniform to protect us and keep us safe, in the hope that someday their name isn't one of the names that we read off at a future Memorial Day event. But not only the men and women of the Army and the Navy and the Air Force and the Marines and all the other services, but even down to the local level, our local police and fire departments and first responders, anyone who wears a uniform and protects us and keeps us safe nationally or in our own communities. We should be thankful for each and every one of them. All right, so thank you all for coming again. I hope many of you can join us as we march down to the cemetery to lay flags at the graves of those who served before us. It's a great event. Thank you again.
Yay! President or someone nearby provides an extra personal touch for give us all a much better understanding of what's going on. Thank you, Kevin. The benediction will be delivered by Reverend Hayes.